We're live.
Welcome to Fall Forward Radio.
There he is.
What's
Bobo.
up? How are you, Jayhawk? Nice shirt, man. That looks good. I like that blue on you.
Goes with my eyes, right?
Absolutely, it does. It just brings them out. Nice punchy eye color.
Yeah. Check out that emblem on your shirt. Is that what I think it is?
You know what? It is. It's our first piece of merch, baby.
Yo, buddy.
Yeah. We're going to get it out there. Going to get all the Fall Forward fanatics wearing the shirts, baby.
Let's get that merch site up and running here this week so we can share it with everybody.
So, dude, episode 3. We're on episode 3. Let me tell you about something with episode 1. The first one we kicked off with, our careers, you donate, we deliver. Just got a note from them the other day. Listen to this. They received what's called in England the Point of Lights Award. Guess who? Okay. Guess who sent them that letter? Guess. Come on, you're not going to guess, so I'll just say guess. Guess.
Let's say.
Come on.
Prince Harry.
Prince Harry's in Canada. It's going to be a bit difficult. Anyway, I'll tell you because you're not going to get it. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, sent them a letter telling them how fantastic they are and what an amazing achievement they achieved. That makes a lot of sense. Wow. How great they were, and sent them a letter saying thank you for everything you've done. And it said at the bottom, your country knows and loves you. So
yes,
pretty cool, right?
Hey, they got involved at a critical time, and look at that. Look what came out of it, right?
Exactly. What about episode 2? What's news on that?
So yeah, episode 2, and what great support we got out of that one. My wife has got nonstop outreach. Look, I checked the video today. We've got over 8,000 views on that video.
Stop it, 8,000. Yeah.
We're moving, buddy. It's happening.
I tell you what, some YouTubers are like 8,000. That's it. We're just brand new. 8,000 people. That's amazing.
Every little bit helps for us. We're just starting out here, so
you married a good one. You married a good one there. She's gonna make us famous.
You could say the same about her too.
So what you been up to this week, man?
Yeah, man. Look, just again, spending time with the kids. We're doing our research for the show here.
Yeah.
Getting our episodes together, talking to all the new guests.
Yep.
Was driving through the neighborhood today. I got to show you this video or this picture that I found real quick here. Hold on a second. Okay. I'm trying to find it here. Where did it go?
He's older than me. He's not great with technology, so just bear with us for a second. Come on, you can do it. There it is.
Can you see this real quick?
Let me see. What does it say? Everything is going to be. Oh, that's awesome. Did you guys make that?
No idea where it came from. We're just driving through the neighborhood, like I said. But it's interesting. Every time we see it now, my oldest son checks it out and he repeats it most of the time when he looks at it. It's kind of an interesting thought. It's really a pick me up if you think about it.
Yeah.
You never know what's going on in someone's mind. And I think you could look at that sign and think of, for yourself, it can apply to anything you're going through at the time.
Absolutely.
I think it's a pick me up for us and what we're going through. I think maybe for everybody in the neighborhood with this, this challenge going on around the world.
Well, funny you should say that. Our next guest, don't you love it when I say funny you should say that? Our next guest is someone called Amy Wolff. She has an organization called Don't Give Up Signs Movement.
Okay.
I want to tell you a lot about it because we're going to watch a video, do the interview with her. But she's got a really simple message where she has yard signs and they have messages on them. Yep. We went out and bought some signs. I got my bracelets. You see it says you are enough, and on the other side it says don't give up.
Yeah.
So supporting.
Well, hey, don't give away too much right now.
No, I'm not going to, but we're going to show that video so you can have a look at it, and then afterwards when we're finishing the video we'll do the interview with Amy. Sound good?
Right. Sounds great.
All right, we'll roll that tape, my friend.
All right, buddy. Roll it.
In May 2017, a friend of ours told us the suicide rates in our community, and we were just baffled. My husband, my 2 young daughters, and myself got in our car on a dreary, rainy Saturday afternoon to stake 20 yard signs around our small town of Newburgh, Oregon. The signs said things like, don't give up, your mistakes don't define you, and you're worthy of love. It's the helplessness, I don't know how to help, but I want to be of help. And I thought of this idea I had several years ago to make these yard signs with encouraging words on them. Well, when we got home from staking these 20 signs around town, I had a neighbor who messaged me and said, I think you're the ones who did this, but you should go on Facebook, people are talking about them. And not only that, they want signs in their yards. And that is how the movement started. Pretty quickly into developing this movement, which was totally accidental, we realized we had to scale because there were a lot of requests coming from a lot of different directions. And now it wasn't just Oregon, it was all over. So we built a website, we made an e-commerce, and we started to get more legit in how we ran our side of things. Well, that made it accessible for people to share on Instagram. People are wanting to spread the hope in their towns. And that spread in the last 5 months to 25 different states and to 8 different countries. So people are taking it and running with it. One of the neatest things to see is how it really connects people. The lady in Newburgh who had someone outside her home pulled over in front of their yard, in front of the sign, weeping over their steering wheel. So she goes out there and knocks on the glass. Can I help you? Is something wrong? And the woman is so touched by her yard sign that says, "You matter," that they share this sweet moment of vulnerability with each other before they head to work. So the byproduct of creating moments like this, I never in a million years would have seen coming. And the second byproduct is probably meeting other people like-minded. There's actually a lot of hope and a lot of good happening. It just doesn't make the news always. And I've made some really neat connections with people in my community that are doing similar crazy movements, and now we're kind of all in this together. People are really thirsty for truth and love and hope. I think it's just a little astonishing that something so simple can be so profound.
All right, Full Forward fanatics. Well, we've just watched a phenomenal movie, and we're going to move on to the star of that movie clip. I'd like to welcome
Drum
to
roll, please.
Radio is Amy Wolff. Amy, welcome.
Thank you. Yes.
So great to have you. We're so honored for you to.
We are.
And so, Amy, you asked me earlier on how I found you, and I was looking online for inspirational stories, inspirational people, and there you are. You popped up, and I was like, right, okay, I've got to get Amy on the show, and that was that. So tell the world about Don't Give Up Signs movement.
Yeah, well, you've seen a little bit of the video, but the backstory is I've had this idea of encouraging yard signs for years, but I thought it was kind of random and I didn't know what to do about it. So in May of 2017, when I had heard the suicide rates here in our small town of Newburgh, Oregon, I thought, what do I do? I'm not qualified. I travel a lot for work. I'm a young mom. I already volunteer things, but I can't do nothing. I just was so struck by you don't do nothing.
Right.
And I thought, oh my gosh, those yard signs, I'm going to print those darn yard signs and just call it good. I'm going to stake them anonymously. I'm not going to own it. I'm just going to put them out. And they came, the day came, I threw them in my trunk and thought, this is the dumbest idea I've ever had.
Little did you know.
I know. This is so lame. It's not going to help anyone. Like, who do you think you are? But I'm frugal. And I was $140 into 20 yard signs.
Right.
So we loaded up the family and got in our car and staked out yard signs with people's permission in their yards around the high school and middle school. And it ended up not being stupid and blew up in our faces a little bit. Within a week, we knew something was happening, created a website, opened a bank account, and then within a month, it was already in a bunch of different states. And we had to create some sort of structure. And when it was me, it was just me. But then I had to invite friends, and now we're a we.
That's amazing. You know, you mentioned in your video, which I'll be honest with you, I cried a little bit when I watched it. My 9-year-old watched it too. He's like, when do we get some signs for ourselves, Dad? So we're definitely going to get some for ourselves.
Oh,
you know, you mentioned in the video, which was interesting, you initially just knocked on doors and put signs in people's yards. I just wondered when you mentioned that thought, like, what were people's reactions when you just knocked on their doors randomly to put these signs in their front yards?
I'd like to tell you a really heartwarming story. However, I was so anxious. I'm an extroverted person. I'm in front of crowds all the time. I'm a speaker coach. I love people. But knocking on doors, like, here's a yard sign, we put it in your grass. It was so uncomfortable. So I blacked out. I have no idea. People quickly said yes when they saw there's no strings attached, no website. They quickly said yes. But we didn't dilly-dally. It was like, thank you very much. Come back. I'll be back in 2 weeks for the sign. Yeah. And it was just yes after yes after yes after yes. The reactions that we got, the comments and responses on social media that we found and then came out of the shadows. Okay, it's me, it's my family. I'll help facilitate sign orders for whoever wants them. When that kind of all came to light within 24 hours, then the stories of people's reactions to the messaging for themselves started to come, and it hasn't stopped in 3 years.
That's great.
You know what? It's so funny you say that, Amy, because I know you. So some of your accolades, you're a TEDx speakers coach, and you've been at the largest TEDx event in the U.S., which is so you speaking.
Hey, Portland, Oregon.
There you go, Portland, Oregon.
We love TED.
So, as you said, and I understand because I've done a lot of motivational speaking on stage. When you're on stage in front of 2,000, 3,000 people, they can't see you. You can't really see them. You just say your message. But when you go to someone's front door, you're not prepared because you have no script. You have nothing ready to say, and you knock on the door and you don't know who's going to be behind. I mean, you said you live in a small town, so you probably know most of the people you are knocking on the door.
I mean, not that small.
Oh, okay. So but you knew your next door neighbors. You started with them, I'm assuming, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
Even better.
I targeted around the schools, and I don't live by the schools.
Okay, fine. All right. So you said that, it took off really, really fast.
Yeah.
And now looking again at your website and finding some information, you said on your website, you've put stickers in Manila in the Philippines, yard signs in Mbabi. Is that right? Mbabi,
You got
Rwanda.
it.
He studied.
Mbabi, Rwanda, and wristbands handed out in Costa Rica and Zambia in 50 states and over 26 countries worldwide. When you hear that saying to you, I can see you nodding your head. What does that mean to you? I mean, did you have any clue at all? Did you think maybe, we'll get some big exposure? Did you think it was going to go to I can see you saying that.
No, it's so ridiculous. There are yard signs and car decals and wristbands. Like, what? No. They're so simple. I think that was the genius of it that I didn't quite understand. It was so simple and so easy and so affordable and so needed. It was the perfect storm. And the fact that it came from a family just wanting to do something, I think people resonated with, well, I want to do something and I don't know what to do. And so we unintentionally, accidentally created them a really easy way to do it. So the 27 countries blows my mind, and people say, how do you ship there? We don't. That would be so expensive. But when people are preparing for big trips, they'll order a bunch of things, or we'll do custom orders and translate into the right language, and they'll shove it in their suitcases.
It's, it's like when you watch shows and you think, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
And you really did. You thought of something that was so simple and such an easy message. And look at what you've done and how many people you've helped just by saying, don't give up, you are worth it. It's mind-blowing. And I wish I would have thought about it now. It's like,
well, it's funny. Just this morning, I was talking to a gentleman on the East Coast. A beautiful byproduct of this is connecting with the most random people. I had a letter from a guy at a prison in Nashville write us a letter last week, a band out of Portland, Oregon, donating funds from their album to our movement, just the most random connections. And this morning, the guy said that he had struggled with depression and found a nonprofit he wanted to support, but then found our movement and found a way to help everyone and use our wristbands and all the things. And I said, can I be honest? I wish you thought of the idea, not me. And he said, why? I said, because I thought this would be a genius idea to fundraise.
Right.
Instead of a 25-cent wristband, sell them for $5 and fundraise for, a nonprofit.
Yeah.
But I'm not a nonprofit. Well, we are now, but we don't need money. We don't fundraise. We don't need to make a profit. So let's just make everything super cheap and affordable and sell it at cost so more people can spread love.
That's great.
But just this morning, I was telling someone, I wish it was someone else's idea. I wish someone could profit in a really great way from it, but we just don't exist to do that.
Yeah, but like you said, with all the connections you're making, who's to say where this will go or won't go for that matter?
I mean, we have done no PR, no marketing. We engage with social media and a website. And I can't tell you the crazy people we're in Reader's Digest in July.
Wow.
Women's Health Magazine last year, they just keep come and they still come. It's so bizarre.
Washington Post, Fox
Washington
News,
Post.
Good Morning America.
I know.
Come on now. You're a superstar.
My daughters like to think so. They say, "Mom, are you famous?" And I said, "I'm Newburgh famous." That's our town. I will say I'm Newburgh famous.
We plan on trying to make you worldwide famous. So that's our goal.
That's right. So, I love too in the video to watch your children working side by side with you. It seems like it's a whole family thing you mentioned on it as well. I see your husband, the children. I'm always curious because, I try to get my two sons, one is 5, one's 9, but the 9-year-old obviously gets it. Helping people, being charitable, being humble. I always wonder, like, what's the impact it's had on your kids while they're working with you, with mom and dad and so forth?
A couple things quickly come to mind. I grew up in a household where we just notice needs and meet them if we can. So I was raised that way, and I want to raise my daughters that way. In fact, this sounds like bragging because it's the most perfect timing. My daughters are doing a car wash in the neighborhood right now to raise money for a charity. They're scrubbing down a car right now, a couple houses down. So they're catching on. Was it my idea? No. In fact, I tried to tell them how bad of an idea their car wash was because of don't scratch the car. Do you know the charity you're giving to yet? Right. You need to wash it before the soap dries.
Right.
Oh no. But so they have picked up enough to feel inspired themselves, and I'm starting to see that. The other thing that came to mind is, our movement started because of this, hearing the suicide rates, but instantly the messages and the responses were, I'm going through divorce, I'm suffering with a health diagnosis, I'm fighting an addiction. I mean, it was a bad day at work, everything. And so if you look at the website and you listen to our messaging, we're so clear that it's all messages for all people. Yep. So we're not a suicide prevention organization. But this week, we had that band donate their proceeds to us from a song that one of the band members wrote for a friend he lost to suicide. And I explained that to my daughters and why they were giving us money for the proceeds from that song. And that's when my 6-year-old asked me, almost 7, from the back seat, well, what is suicide?
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh man, that's a word that we oddly talk a lot about in our house just because of the movement, and they hear me do interviews. And it's obviously on people's minds right now in our country. And I was so caught off guard. Like, I don't know how to explain this to you while appropriately. So I said, when people are sad enough to want to hurt themselves, and because of that, they end up passing away. And watching her expression, realizing what it was, like, people hurt that badly. Like, she was so perplexed and then so sad.
That's an amazing.
And I was weeping in the car, like.
But I think that's the beauty of your signs too, is that it is so simple, but in the same return, most people that are struggling with any kind of challenge, be it mental or whatnot, before they get to that breaking point, they're thinking all these thoughts to themselves. They're keeping it to themselves. Yeah. And these signs to me almost extract that thought out of you, and it catches you off guard when you're probably going through that. Oh, I wasn't what you're thinking about me, or I'm a good, whatever the case may be. It's just a wonderful, wonderful product. I love it.
There was a gentleman in Salem, Oregon, a couple months after we put out the signs. And I didn't know him. I know his story third hand, but he was struggling with severe depression, picked up a pizza for dinner for his family that night, and on the way home decided he was going to take his life. He went and took a nostalgic road home instead of the typical route, one that he had used as a boy going to school growing up. And on that unusual way home, he encountered a sign, and it said, "Don't give up." So he pulled over his car in disbelief, like, whoa,
it's a
what?
Sign. Yeah, like a movie.
Rearview mirror sees the back of the sign that says, "You matter." He's weeping, full-grown man, pizza, smelling, filling up his car, and he's so overwhelmed that this was for him at the right moment, at the right time.
Absolutely.
That he went home and told his family how deeply he was suffering. He changed his route to work every day to drive by the sign. And he wrote an anonymous note to the address where the sign was a couple months later, which is why I know his story. And the note said, "You didn't solve my depression. You didn't solve my problems, but you did save my life, and you should know that."
That's wonderful.
And
Love
it's such a profound example of, like what you said, Rob, is the right place, the right time, the right messaging, that it can break up those thoughts. It can just be surprising enough, shocking enough, catch you off guard enough that it hits you.
I mean, I have to say, and I hope, I want your two daughters and your husband to watch this show back with when we're done, because your mom's a superhero. So you have to make her a superhero costume for Halloween, and tell everybody, if anyone asks you what your mom does for a living, you just say, "My mom's a superhero. She saves lives." Because that's what you do. I mean, look at that message. I mean, I can't imagine the emotion you must have from all the stories that you read and the things that come back from such a simple idea. I mean, that story, that choked me up there for a second. I was just thinking to myself, I know what you're going to say when you said he pulled over, because it's like a movie. It's almost like you see signs coming up of, you know, what should I do? And it is, excuse the pun, but it was a sign. It was a sign that that person, you know, it stopped them from thinking. I guess they get into an emotional state where nothing can change it. No one can say anything, and no one did. It was your sign, very simple, don't give up, that made him realize, okay. And now he talks to himself. So with that being said, what's next, Amy? What's coming up next for you? What's for you and your family? What's up next, apart from the summertime and still more no school? What's next for you and the movement?
Yeah, that's a good question. Something kind of top secret, I can't say, which is super fun.
You can't say that and then not say it. That's the worst thing ever.
We've kind of briefly mentioned it in a different context in our conversation. It'll be announced in the
rewind the tape.
Yeah, we'll definitely rewind.
So there's a really neat speaking opportunity coming up to share with thousands of people about our movement. So we're excited about that.
Okay.
And a book. I'm launching a book.
Good for you.
I had an agent reach out to me after Washington Post. I had a literary agent reach out. I just submitted the manuscript last month. It comes out in April of 2021. Rewrote the last chapter a month ago in the middle of the pandemic, because it's such a backdrop to the need for hope and collective hope rising and what that looks like. And so that's exciting, just to bring out our story, and also collection of other people's stories. What did you do? What good did you do? Did it matter a lot? Did it matter a little? Newsflash, it all matters, whether it's big or small, whether it's birthed out of our own pain or something we read about or whatnot. So it's really a collection of stories to feel good and then go take action, challenge us, go, raise a compassionate generation, take hope for yourself. So I'm super excited about that.
How can you not be? It's amazing.
Wow, a book. You heard it here first, peeps. You heard it here first. No one else in the world knows. The first exclusive.
No, the book people know about. Yeah, I'll plug that all day long.
Yeah.
The speaking gig is exciting. But as far as the movement goes, we've been at it for 3 years now. And all of it's grassroots, all of it's organic. So when people say, what's next for the movement? I don't know. Whatever comes. We wanted a billboard, and then a mental health clinic in Central Oregon said, we want to sponsor a billboard. Awesome, but you can't put your logo on it, but we won't either. And they said, okay. Okay. So unbranded, You Matter billboard in the middle of nowhere. Do I want more of those? Yeah, I want more of those. But it's just all naturally coming. And so I'm just going with the flow, whatever happens next.
Wow. Super cool. I mean, I'm excited for the book. I mean, I'm excited to read the book. As Jay said, I want signs as well. We're going to order signs. And I'm actually going to do it with my daughter. And I'm going to explain to her about it. She's at that age, you know, I have a 9-year-old daughter as well. So that they're at that really funny age where they listen to a degree and then they think they know better, but then at the same stage when you explain it, and how you explained it to your 6-year-old about suicide, bravo. I mean, that's a question which, like, on the fly, you got to think about that real quick. How do I explain it? And you did a great job on that. But now, I'd say more questions will probably come from that, or probably did after that, right?
Well, and for me as a mom too, it's really hard, because the next thing I said was, if you start to struggle with these thoughts and you're thinking, oh, like we talked about that, like, you can talk to me about it. Like, also giving them the freedom, like, you see hard things and you're going to go through hard things, and we talk about it, and giving her the freedom to do that. That was tough as a mom to a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
But like
absolutely.
opening the conversation when they're young.
Yeah. Well, that was, I mean, the story of, I was talking to her before I did the interview, because she always asked me who we're interviewing, and I was telling her about it. And she just said, that's such an easy idea, Dad. She said, I haven't seen them. I mean, we're in Florida. I'm sure you don't know every single county in the whole of the United States of where they are. But, you know, I want her while she's not at school now, I want her to run it. I want her to do it. I want her to put the signs out. And if someone asks about it, teach her. So, you know, so
good.
One of the things we always ask every one of our guests is how we can help you. We're going to put your website on the video. We're going to put it on our website, on our social media, don'tgiveupsigns.com. But what else can we do to help support you in any way at all?
I don't know. I don't need your money. I don't need, just join the movement. Buy the stuff that we don't get profit from, and just go be generous, or let it inspire you to do your own thing. Totally.
Spread the word, basically.
It's just so simple, but it's go be kind. If you're inspired, go do something. Don't do nothing. You know, just be inspired, generously give out messages of hope and messages that defeat shame, and sprinkle that stuff everywhere, whether it's a wristband or a kind word to someone.
Well, what we're going to do is, like I said, is we are on Full Forward Radio. Our goal is to inspire, just to inspire people like you did. You came up with an idea that people weren't doing. We looked out there and we realized that every single day someone needs to hear something inspiring to maybe do something to inspire somebody else. So we're on the same page as you. That's why I was so thrilled when you emailed me back and said, yeah, I've got time. I was like, great, let's do this. So, one of the other things we do is we are generating on our website, you probably saw it, there's a section that says suggest a guest and our top 10 list. If you were to recommend someone to come on our show, who would you recommend and why? Can you think of somebody that we can help out there?
Yeah. There is a guy who I learned about through the movement who started in Portland, but then I think went out of state, so we weren't in proximity anymore, but he has a similar idea. He started a movement called Positive Propaganda.
Okay.
And he creates products and goods, almost kind of like us, but facilitates creative sessions where people make their own signs, and he prints sheets and puts them on phone poles, and he has his own reason why. And it's just, who else? There's probably a few more I can come up with, but perhaps not on the spot.
Okay. So come up with, just email us, let us know, because what we'd like to do is whichever one of those people that you really like and we reach out to, or you reach out to, we'd love to have you back on the show for an update on the book and the secret talk. And you introduce them, and then, you know, that's the way it's kind of like a pay it forward. You know, you come on, you introduce them, then they introduce it, and so on and so forth.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Well, Amy, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been so much fun learning about everything. We're going to stay in touch with you guys. We'll let you know how many millions upon millions of people are buying more yard signs, and we'll go from there. So thank you so much for spending time with us, and we'll definitely catch up with you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
You will.
Well, hey, even though I missed a portion of that video due to technical difficulties, kudos for you for running with the ball there, big guy.
Yeah, that wasn't at all scary. I didn't know exactly what to do. I was like, you just
froze up, right? Yeah, let's not show pictures of that.
Yeah, you froze up, and then I was like, okay, got to be professional, keep it going. And luckily, I was able to do the job. So, but how amazing is that lady?
She is. She's remarkable. Look, she found a challenge in town. She focused on it. She didn't have to. I think that's the best part about her story. Didn't have to do anything about what she learned that was going on in her town with the suicide high rates.
Yep.
Yet she focused on it. She brought her family into it. She spread the word with signs. And look now, it's all around the city. It's all around the world now, for that matter. And now it's down in Bradenton, Florida, for that matter.
I know. Isn't that great? Over the 7 continents of the world.
Yeah,
I got that one right.
Got that right this time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just great research on my part. I mean, sorry, you were supposed to say that, right? Go on.
You are the researcher, the commissar.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, here's the thing, man. She's been on TV shows, like big TV shows, Good Morning America, all that kind of stuff. Got her here on Full Forward Radio.
No,
so
we're going big time right now. I think soon people are going to beg to get on the show. I'm feeling it.
I know. I can't wait. I hope so anyway. Well, look, so we watched the video. We've done the interview with Amy. And then you and I made a pact. We're going to buy the signs, buy the bracelets, and get out there and put the signs out. So we got the signs. Go ahead and show them. Go and show them the video. Or not the video.
Here's a couple of those pictures that we had that you took with your daughter. And
look at you.
The good old hat on there too, buddy.
You and your Full Forward Radio merch over there. Always selling Jayhawk.
Got to.
Love it. Yeah, I have my hat on. Bad hair day. You know, I don't know.
I got to represent, right?
Exactly. But we had so much fun. So I grabbed my daughter and I said, come on, we're going to go put out some signs. And she's looking at me like I'm crazy. She knew from watching the video. We went out on the street. We went to the side of the highways. And at first she was like, Dad, what are we doing? And then afterwards, at the end, she really enjoyed it because people were sounding their horns at her. And she got back in the car and she was like, Dad, that was cool. Am I going to be famous? I said, well, you're famous already. You're the son of Rob C. from Full Forward Radio. Come on. So, but she loved it and she loved the message and she understands. I know you went out with your son as well, right?
Yeah, he loved it. I tell you what, we put the signs in. He was taking care of it by himself. And then, we quickly, like you said, we split the signs up. We only had a few, but once we put them up, he looked at me and goes, okay, where else can we go with them? And I told him we're out. He was a little upset about the whole situation. He wanted to keep going and, spreading the good word out there to everyone.
Well, one of the things I said to Amy in the interview, as you saw, is that I was worried about someone stealing our signs. So we're going to have to set up GPS and GoPro on all of our signs to make sure no one steals them.
Tag all of them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we had a great experience with Amy and we just need to get her message out there. So tell them about how we find everything.
Get everybody to our website. Let's put some links up there for everyone. They can watch the video, listen to the podcast if they like in that medium, or again, hit one of the links and go there and buy some signs or donate to the cause that she's put together.
Absolutely. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the website, you can always go over there. And let me tell you, the signs, they don't make any money on them. It's just at cost. So, and I ordered them and they arrived in like 2 days. So it was super exciting. So, so we're moving on now to our section that we have each week, which is about our guest list. So who's on your guest list, big boy, this week?
So this is celebrity time for me. I found Drew Barrymore. She's gotten together and partnered with McCormick, the spice company.
Yeah.
They're working together. They partnered together to put $1 million towards a group called the No Kid Hungry effort. And that is to ensure that kids have reliable access to food during the pandemic. I think that's just remarkable that she stepped forward. Hope to hear that more celebrities are doing something similar. Because again, we would love to get them on the show and talk about it. But Drew, if you're out there, love to get you on the show. Love to talk about what you're doing. And any way we can support you in that manner, please let us know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be really good. Yeah.
What about you, big guy?
Well, I got a big one here, and physically, he's a big tuna, big one. Yep. So if you look at, can you see the eyebrow? I know it doesn't.
It's getting there. On that one?
Well, my guest that I would like to bring on the show is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, so he's always been a childhood icon of mine, as much as I'm way younger than him, obviously. That's why I say childhood. And my daughter also loves him as well. And I think the whole world does. Just an amazing actor, amazing speaker, just a great motivational character. And he works with I Have a Dream Foundation. And you can see YouTube videos everywhere of him surprising kids. And he really, really is just such an inspirational guy. And the more and more I see him and the more he stands up for what he thinks is right, would love to have him on his. So Dwayne, if you're watching, obviously you are watching, DM me or text.
Call Rob C. Just
call Rob C. I'll just give you my phone number. I'll just put it out on air. But
should we flash your digits on there?
I don't know. A little bit dangerous with all the success we're having right now. We might just need to just go down low on that.
Let's have his people call our people.
Yes, your people call our people. We might need to let everybody know that we don't have people. We are our people. But you don't need to know that. So, but it's gonna be fun. Let's get Dwayne on the show. Let's let everyone know what he's smelling. Who's smelling? Yeah, I'm sure that's a perfect opportunity.
Can you smell what the rock is?
Yes, yes. Can you smell that? Jason's going to put in, or Jay's going to put in there. I just revealed your real name.
That's okay.
Oh no. Yeah, well, no one knows
I'm
my
fully
real.
exposed now. It's okay.
No one knows my real name. It's Rob C. As far as they know. Don't tell anybody. So let's go ahead and roll that music at the end there. Tell us what's coming on with the next episode, big man.
So look, we've got a good guest coming. You know, by way of Amy Wolff, she suggested in her interview someone by the name of Cody Goldberg.
Yep.
Mr. Goldberg, he started a foundation due to his daughter.
Yep.
And it's called Harper's Playground. I don't want to give too much away because it's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Father and his child and their family circling around them, and the outreach and what they're doing today is just out of this world.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. So we're excited for that. So look, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to Amy. Thank you to this guy, as always. Just such a pleasure. So much fun, man. I love it.
Keep it going. Let's keep it going. We need more guests. We're going to keep doing this.
Go ahead, sign out.
All right, buddy. This is Jayhawk signing off.
This is Rob C. in the place to be. Yeah, you know me. See you guys soon.
See you later. Bye-bye. Hey, Fall Forward Fanatics. Jayhawk here.
And Rob C. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell.
And also, don't forget to check out our website, fallforwardradio.com, in the Suggest a Guest section.
And always remember to keep inspiring
and keep falling forward. See you soon.
See you guys soon.